Standing for life is not a slogan. It's not a cause. It's not a campaign. Standing for life is a mandate of the gospel itself, a call to defend the sacredness of every human life from conception to natural death. And today's readings do not whisper this truth. They thunder it. They proclaim it with power. St. Paul tells us in his letter to the Colossians that all things were created through Christ and for Christ. Not some things, not only the lives the world deems valuable, but all things, every life, every child in the womb, and every person beyond that. Every human being bears the imprint of the one through whom all creation came to be. My brothers and sisters, when a culture claims the authority to decide who may live and who will die, it is not merely rejecting a moral teaching. It is rejecting the Word. It is rejecting the very person of Christ himself. And the Church cannot remain silent when the very foundation of human dignity is being eroded. Yet our voice must never be a voice of condemnation. Our voice, my brothers and sisters, must be the voice of Christ, firm in truth, unwavering in love, and radiant with mercy. Our Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV, who some of us had the happy privilege of seeing just a few weeks ago, our Holy Father reminds us, and I quote him, God's mercy calls us to protect every life, especially those whom society overlooks, the child yet to be born, and the elderly nearing their journey's end, because each bears Christ's faith. Every human life, from its first hidden moment, possesses a dignity that no court, no culture, no state, no political party or movement can bestow or remove. Human dignity is not granted by society. It's given and it's revealed by Christ. Today in our responsorial psalm, we proclaim that God who spun galaxies into being also knits together the smallest child in the womb. The psalmist does not say, "You watched me form." He says instead, "You knit me." God's hands are not distant from any womb. They are at work within it. The psalmist marvels that God searches and knows him not only in adulthood, not only in moments of prayer, but from the very beginning. Now, this isn't mere poetry or revelation. It tells us that the unborn child is not potential life. The unborn child is a known life, a willed life, a loved life. And if God sees the child in the womb, if God knits the child in the womb, then the Church also, and all of us, must see the child in the womb. And if God claims that life as his own, then we must stand for life with courage, and also with tenderness, and with unwavering conviction. This is why our pastoral care must be as strong as our convictions. You know, a prophetic church that does not bind wounds is not the Church of Jesus Christ. A pastoral church that does not speak truth is not the church of Jesus Christ. We must be both prophetic and pastoral. Our gospel today takes us deeper still. The eternal Word, the one who was with God and is God, entered the world not as a full-grown adult. God entered the world as an unborn child in Mary's womb. The incarnation, the Word made flesh, is God's definitive yes to human life at every stage. God didn't merely sanctify life in the womb, He lived it. This is why the Church's defense of life is not political, as some claim and suggest, but rather very profoundly theological and oriented toward the heart of our faith. It flows from the mystery of the Word made flesh. Every child's life mirrors the very life of Christ. Every mother's womb becomes, in a sense, a sanctuary of God's creative love. Pope Leo, again, has warned us, a society that loses its reverence for the smallest will soon lose its reverence for the sacred. He understood that the struggle for life is not only about the unborn, but it's about the very soul of civilization. Yet the Pope also insisted that the Church must be the first to show mercy. The Church, he says, must walk in the shadows where fear lives, carrying the light of Christ in her hands. My brothers and sisters, this is our mission, to walk into the shadows of crisis pregnancies, the shadows of shame, the shadows of regret, to bring that light, the light that no darkness can overcome. Pope Leo reminded us that to defend the smallest is to defend the image of God where it is most transparent. The true measure of a society is not its wealth, it's not its power, but its willingness to protect those who cannot protect themselves. My brothers and sisters, the Church's pro-life witness must be marked by mercy for mothers in crisis, mercy for fathers who feel overwhelmed, mercy for families who fear they cannot welcome a new child. To stand for life is to stand with them, to walk with them, to love them. To stand for life means working toward a world in which abortion and euthanasia and assisted suicide and more. Whenever we speak of being a people who stand for life, we remember that every person, born and unborn, neighbor or stranger, citizen or immigrant, carries the image of God. The dignity that we defend in the womb is the same dignity that we are called to honor in every human being, in every stage and station in life. Every assault on human life becomes unthinkable. You know, sometimes I watch TV or read in the news, I look at the world around us. Shootings, wanton killing in the world. I can't help but wonder, where is our humanity? Our mission as a church and as a diocese, and yes, as a state in this nation, is not only to oppose what destroys life, but also to build that culture where life is always welcomed, where it's always celebrated, and it's always supported. And that means supporting mothers with real resources and real love, strengthening families so that they can flourish wherever they come from, offering healing to those wounded by abortion, advocating for laws that protect the vulnerable, including the elderly and the sick, witnessing to the gospel of life with joy, not anger, with hope, not despair. May our diocese be known as a place where every life is cherished, every mother is supported, every family is strengthened, and every child, born and unborn, is welcomed with the love of Christ. And may the God who knit each of us in the womb grant us the grace to stand for life with the same tenderness and strength with which God created it. Amen.